Greetings and welcome to the core module of our time together, Business Modeling as a Strategy. You have been in business for a period of time now. Before you engaged in it, you took a decision as to what it was you wanted to be known for. And by now, you have information that tells you from the marketplace what you are known for. You also have gone into a process where you're saying to yourself, why should people be doing business with you? Why should your current customers be engaging in business with you? What we're wanting to be able to venture into now in this core module is how. Business modeling is a way that helps us to be able to plan for a successful operation of our business, to be able to identify the sources of revenue, our target customer base, the kind of products and services we want to be able to offer. And indeed, we want to be able to make sure that we have clarity on the details of how we'll finance our business. It becomes important, therefore, that we understand how our business is going to be able to create value for itself while delivering superb products and services for our customers. Go with me on this journey as we go through the business modeling as a strategy and indeed also as a tool to advance your business going forward. As entrepreneurs in the 21st century, we are spoiled for choice for business models we can select from at the point where we are starting a new business or growing an existing business into a colossal empire. When you go through to libraries, bookstores, internet websites, you will find volumes upon volumes of business models that have been utilized over the centuries, particularly in the last century and the current century. With this in mind, we are going to have to be able to select one that is going to be functional for us in this module. We're going to be able to draw some insights from the work that has been contributed in the collaborative effort of PhD in Management Information Systems, Dr. Alex Osterwalder, together with PhD in Information Systems, Professor Yves Pigneur. In their book that they produced called Business Model Generation, a collaborative effort, they help us to be able to appreciate the business model canvas. Following hereafter then will be a discussion on the business model thinking. We'll just introduce that. We'll then go to the 9 building blocks that make up the business model canvas. We'll have a discussion on the business model canvas itself, BMC, and then we'll venture into the business model design process. Having done that, we want to be able to look into our value proposition. A value proposition canvas will be the tool we will need to be able to utilize to determine exactly how we are going to be the preferred value provider to our customer. 2 case studies are provided for you to be able to work with, a case study from Skype and a case study from Southwest Airlines. As we close the discussion in this particular module, we will venture into the 9 destructive business models. These have been used quite extensively over the last decade, but more in steroids last year and this year. We have these presented through to us, and we are going to see which ones are trending and how we can utilize the same for ourselves as we build our business to become a sustainable, resilient, and invincible enterprise. Listed amongst your wishes from this program was, as entrepreneurs, if you could be able to get some ideas on how you could be able to navigate this pandemic-riddled economic environment. We've looked into what it is that successful entrepreneurs do. We already have spoken in the previous slide about your looking into exploring and exploiting. Exploring new avenues, which is what the Blue Ocean strategy presents through to you. Exploiting existing terrains, which is almost like what happens in a mining environment. Successful entrepreneurs do not focus on product innovation alone. They exploit and look into what other solutions are needed in the marketplace. They do not copy existing business models because they know that as they do the copying, someone else is doing the same thing. So there is a need for innovative approaches to business on an ongoing basis. Successful entrepreneurs are willing to take risks and experiment with their businesses. And this is where diversification comes through and becomes very handy. Co-author of the Business Model Generation book, Yves Pignol, speaks to the fact that while product innovation and process innovation are important aspects of entrepreneurship, having the right business model more often than not would make the difference between success and failure. Therefore, fully understanding your business model is what will help you to navigate the difficult business environment you are operating within. As an entrepreneur, you have an appreciation that business is risky. Conducting business and setting up new ideas takes guts. You have continued in business because you've weighed up the potential returns you can extract from participating in this particular industry that you are in already. We're going to be able to use the business model portfolio maps that Doctors Yves and Alex share with us from Strategizer. We're looking to explore and exploit. Explore comes handy when you think back to the 4-action framework of the Blue Ocean strategy model. There are 4 specific areas to look into: ideation, discovery, validation, and confirmation. Ideation looks into new ideas for value proposition and business models around a market opportunity, technology, products, or services that can be presented into the marketplace. Discovery is about providing the first evidence of desirability and viability, information about the market and your potential customers by testing your new ideas out in the marketplace, and then determining, is there something here? Validation is confirmation of the desirability and viability with strong evidence and with first evidence of feasibility, determining whether you can build a good product, provide a service, and exploit what's available to you. Finally, confirmation. This is where you proceed with your business idea or you pivot, investing in customer acquisition costs, marketing, and more robust minimum viable products. You determine, can we do this at scale? You are in a position to determine that in the space of exploring. Exploiting, on the other hand, has 6 key areas for consideration. Transfer or launch. Launching of a compelling value proposition or business model that is customer focused. Sustaining innovation, where you have a product or service that has been developed to address an unmet customer requirement. And as a company, you look into how you can scale up to meet the demands in the marketplace. Efficiency looks into generating additional profitability by focusing on reducing costs, increasing productivity, or redesigning a product or service, which is really what the shareholders are looking at. It's a shareholder focus. When you've got a mature business and it's well established, you may very well have loyal customer base. What you then do is to be able to look into how you can be competitive in the same field and stabilize your growth. When the business is declining, you may want to be able to look into what is causing the decline. The decline may be characterized by profitability going down, becoming obsolete, or you could find that you've got reduced customer base and it may no longer make sense for you to continue producing a product because the market is not really finding value in it anymore. The final area of exploiting is renovation. Before the business dies, you can shift your company model and focus on a new product, on a new service, or a business model that helps you to survive or grow. So then, a business model helps you to describe your rationale on how you and your organization will create, deliver, and capture value for the customer. Taking forward the trio of create, deliver, and capture value, co-founder of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, Horst Schutze, in his writing of Excellence Wins, identifies that there are 3 main things that people we serve look for from a business. First, they want a product or a service or an output that is without defect. So, in the design of your product, you want to be sure it is defect-free. Second, they want it to be delivered in a timely manner. Thirdly, they want the person with whom they are dealing to be nice to them. See what would happen in a restaurant environment. You are the provider of food. If you create, add in your menu a special dish that is well liked by customers, it's delivered in a clean environment, people have an opportunity to interplay and enjoy themselves with it, guess what it delivers to you? It allows you to capture huge value and you get the applause as more and more money flows in your direction. Let's turn our attention to the 9 building blocks of the business model canvas. You can start on any of the 9. I want to suggest, however, that because we are customer focused, we're going to begin the discussion by exploring the customer segments. Who are our customer? What is it that they need? What is it that we can provide to them? Second, consider what could be your value proposition. When you think about your value proposition, it enables you to be very clear around how you distinguish yourself in the sea of many suppliers similar to you. You want to maintain very good customer relationships. Therefore, you put in the customer place someone who fully understands your business and speaks your language as well as you would. You then think about some of the key channels that you need to be able to utilize to bring to the customer that which they need. As you have that sorted out, it enables you to start looking for revenue streams. Are the streams you already have sufficient? Do you need to explore others as well? Having looked into that, you get to be able to appreciate that some of the delivery is possible through key partnerships. What key partners can you work with in order to deliver exceptional value to Exxaro? Then start thinking about key resources you need to be able to have to deliver the key activities that the customer is looking for. And as you reflect on that, it gives you a chance to look into, earlier on we spoke about the money-making model. It is important to be able to think, what is the cost structure you will need to have in place to remain efficient and effective in your business? When you think about the business model canvas, you get to appreciate two things. It is a visual representation of the various business model elements. 9 of them we've already spoken to. But it also allows you as a practitioner or as an entrepreneur to see the relationships among the various parts of the model. It allows you to identify the hypotheses, the assumptions, and the risks associated with doing business. It enables you to plan validation testing. You go to the market, you check the channels, and you look into your pricing. It allows you to explore ways of adding value and or reducing cost. Finally, it allows you the opportunity to brainstorm some market disruption strategies. There are 5 phases to business model design. The first is mobilize. Here, the objective is to prepare for a successful business model design project. Second is understand. You research and analyze the elements that are needed for the business model design project. The third would be to design. Here, you want to generate and test viable business model options and select the very best out of the lot. Fourth is implementation. You want to implement the business model prototype in the field so that you know it actually works. And finally, you will manage. Managing affords you the opportunity to adapt or modify the business model in response to the reaction you get from the marketplace. Co-author with A.J. Leffley of Playing to Win, a strategy book, Dean of Rotman School of Management, Roger Martin, points out that business people do not just need to understand designers better. They themselves need to become better designers. Therefore, having an effective business model design is a core function of every entrepreneur. In the pursuit of remaining strategic as a supplier to our customers, it is always necessary to review our value proposition. We will need to be able to spend some time looking into the environment within which we operate, scanning the environment, and then respond to it by mapping out in our business model canvas the key response to all of the 9 building block areas. The opportunity to zoom out affords us to be able to work on the business, while zooming in gets us to be able to work in the business. This is a management function. Zooming in, zooming out gives us a chance to be leading and exploring opportunities out there. Engaging with the value proposition canvas affords us the opportunity to be able to respond to 2 critical questions. Are we creating value for our customer? And in the process, are we creating value for our business? From the business model canvas, we get to have an explicit appreciation of how we are creating and capturing value for our business, while on the value proposition canvas, we get to be able to be clear as to whether we are creating value for our customer. So, from the business model canvas, we zoom in to the detailed picture to investigate if our customer value proposition in the business model really creates value for our customer. We then also get to be able to zoom out to the big picture to analyze if we are profitably, as a business, creating, delivering, and capturing value around this particular customer's value proposition, which we presented, and the customer said, we want to do business with you. There are at least 14 clear applications of the business model canvas. First, the canvas could be used to better understand our customers. Second, it could be used to understand the competition. What are they responding to that we may not be responding to very, very well? The canvas affords us the opportunity to have a template for generating new ideas. It can be used for innovation specifically. It can be used, fifthly, for strategizing. Sixth, it can be used for the diffusion and co-creation of strategy. What we've also come to appreciate is that the business model canvas plays a significant role in helping to create alignment throughout the organization as we look into the value creation side versus the infrastructure side of the business. Furthermore, we may use the business model canvas for ensuring that there is shared language across all functions of the organization. The business model also allows for the alignment of the value side of the canvas, which deals with revenue, to the infrastructure side of the same canvas, which has to do with costs. It can also be used as a dashboard that we constantly look at to see how we're progressing as an organization. We can utilize the canvas for making decisions around investing. Also, it could be utilized for ensuring that we have appropriate mergers and acquisitions. We want to be able to look into who we can partner with, knowing that they are aligned to what we are seeking to achieve as a business. But what we also can find is that the business model canvas allows us to look into a whole portfolio of business models and see which one will work best for the objectives we've set for ourselves. Finally, we may want to be able to look into the business model canvas for determining our exit strategy when we realize that we've achieved what we had set out to do, or we're no longer getting what we had intended to achieve by being in business in this environment altogether. As we seek to develop new or document existing business models, it is useful to be able to review the 9 building blocks of the business model canvas. We think it is necessary, even though you can start from anywhere and go to the next until you've completed all 9, it is useful to be able to pay attention to what's happening in the customer space. Remember, in the organizational effectiveness, we started off by asking what our stakeholders' needs, what are our customers' needs. Therefore, we need to be able to ask, what are the key customer segments we are addressing? What is our value proposition as the second block? The third block starts looking into what are the key channels we are going to use to deliver the value that we're promising to the customer. And then, fourthly, we look for ways of maintaining and building strong relationships with our customers. And then we wrap up that section by going into understanding the revenue streams that are available to us. Some may be very good and others may be kind of at a survival space. We then flip over and go through to the infrastructure side. The infrastructure side starts off by looking into what are the key resources we need to have in place to deliver value to the customer. Then, what are the activities we need to be sharp at to execute well? Having got that in place, we can then start looking outside to who are the key partners we should be able to have a solid relationship with in order to deliver exceptional quality to our customer. Having finalized that takes us to number 9, which is about the cost structure. In that way, we've covered all 9 because we're saying to ourselves, to deliver value, you will need to be able to incur costs. Finish off everything, having understood all that's at play to determine how much revenue you're going to be able to generate at what cost. As an entrepreneur who is intent on growing your business, understanding the first 3 building blocks of the business model canvas will be absolutely vital. Let's kick off by looking into the customer segments. This is a building block that defines the different groups of people or organizations that your enterprise aims to reach and serve. You will want to be able to ask 2 key questions. For whom are you creating value? Beyond Exxaro, who are your most important customers? Having answered those 2 key questions helps you to also contemplate 2 key points. These points are, as a company, you may want to be able to group your customers into distinct segments because of their common needs, common behaviors, and common attributes. Second, you may want to be able to look into your business model and see how it helps you to define one or several customer segments. These segments may be a mass market environment, a niche market environment. It could be a diversified or segmented customer segmentation. And it could very well be multiple platforms where you've got multi-sided markets. You may then want to be able to look into your value proposition. The value proposition describes the bundle of products and services that create value for a specific customer segment. In this area, there are 3 key questions you want to look into. What do we deliver to this customer? Second, which one of our customers' problems are we helping them to solve? Third, what bundle of products and services are we offering to each customer segment? Then, which customer needs are we really satisfying? This is very important because when you are clear about your value proposition and you have a clear mix of the ways in which you approach them to deliver value, you will be able to qualify and quantify that. because value can be quantitative based on price or speed of service, or it can be qualitative, looking into the customer experience, the design that is applicable right there. Some of the elements in which you could be able to create value may very well flow from your ability to perform exceptionally well, your customization, the newness of your products or services, or just getting the job done. Your brand, if it stands out in the marketplace, would be something that is a value proposition you can work around for your customers, as it were. It is critical for us to be able to pay attention to this and then think about what channels we'll use in order to deliver to the customer that which we've proposed. We need to be able to think about our communication channels, our distribution channels, as well as our sales channels. Research by Simon Kucher and partners in 2014 found that 72% of new products and service innovations fail to deliver on expectations. So when you look into our customers and our customer profiles and match that to the value we have promised, when there is a fit between the two, success can be recorded. But this is not guaranteed. The iteration on the value map and the customer profile is vital for ensuring sustainable success for your business. There will be benefits in appointing a value proposition designer in your organization. This may very well be yourself, but as you grow your business, you'd want to give that responsibility to someone who will constantly be looking into whether there is a best fit between our value proposition and the meeting of the customer needs. In order to remain top of mind with our customers, we need to be meeting and exceeding customer expectations. When we go back to the business model canvas, we can see where this finds itself. We are addressing the customer segment and the value proposition. So the value proposition designer plays in just two areas, the customer segments and the value proposition. May I invite you to look into the Skype business model, going through to 3 building blocks out of the 9: customer segment, revenue streams, and value proposition. You'll come to appreciate that for Skype, their customer segments are web users globally. In terms of income stream, they looked into it and said, in order to be able to have more customers using the platform, they would make it available free of charge. That then became the value proposition, where they afford free internet and video calling. With the growth in virtual calls, as we have been engaging with the advent of COVID-19, you will then appreciate that the customer segment of people who want to make calls, audio calls, video calls, are looking for ways in which they can get this thing free. Skype then responds by providing for their revenue streams a prepaid Skype out and a subscription Skype out. This option makes it possible, therefore, to deliver on the value proposition of cheap calls to the phone utilizing Skype out. In the student roadmap, we invited you to look into the business model canvas of a discount airline. Here you have a case study of Southwest Airlines. They have applied the 9 building blocks business model canvas and in the process helped any viewer and any student to understand the application of the 9 building blocks. As you work through this, we will be able to appreciate how since 1971, Southwest Airlines has remained profitable, even in the aftermath of 9/11/2001. COVID-19 has caused a slowdown, but that in itself has not meant that Southwest Airlines has ceased to be profitable. The 9 building blocks model canvas is well documented and well demonstrated in this case study. I invite you to engage with it. Disrupt or be disrupted. This is a quotation that is used quite extensively in the Silicon Valley. Everybody in the Silicon Valley is constantly looking for an opportunity or a niche to disrupt industries with new, innovative business models. Of course, not all of the business models that are presented are completely new. Existing models get to be refined, simplified, and brought through and used with new industry, with new products or new services. Benjamin Talion, who is the CEO and founder of More Than Digital, on the 4th of January 2021, shared 9 important business models that can be seen to be disruptive for industries and are trending quite extensively. Of those, let's kick off with the first. It's freemium model. This is one model which is frequently used by business. The consumer gets to receive the product or services for free of charge. Either they will get a basic functions package or they will have a premium package. For the premium package, there will be no branding and there will be an extension of services that the customer gets to enjoy. Examples here include Spotify, LinkedIn, and MailChimp. Some of us have been utilizing those quite extensively. Second is the subscription model. Here, products and services are usually offered on subscription. So an amount would be normally paid only once at the start, at the inception, and then it is split or a new service is created that is built periodically. You get to be able to see this with Amazon and Netflix. You also have a model of free offerings. In this model, you will find that, like happens with Google and Facebook, many entrepreneurs get to be able to use this. And of course, some find it incomprehensible. Yet, the traffic that Google and Facebook have indicates that it is a working model. It allows opportunities to ramp up and get to be able to gather a lot of information about customers and then auction that off to others. The fourth is a marketplace model, which is adopted by the likes of Alibaba, Amazon, and in South Africa, Take-A-Lot. It's a business model that is used primarily in the digital marketplace, which connects sellers and buyers in the common platform. Money is usually generated via a brokerage fee, commission, or a fixed transaction fee. Number 5, it is a sharing economy, access over ownership model, renting and leasing. This has become pretty common in the appreciation of the need to not just own something, but have access to it. Airbnb is an example hereof. Lyft is an example thereof. People get to have access to somebody's home and they get to use it for that period. Renting and leasing, car hire companies have been doing that for quite some time. 6th is the user experience premium model. Here, Tesla and Apple are examples of those organizations that have positioned themselves as a premium company. The good customers experience great value that is provided with an exchange of products only being done with that company. You may not be able to get the best output of Apple outside of the iOS. Then there is the pyramid model. It's a model that is typically a sales model that is been available for many years, especially because of easy billing. Technical aids use the pyramid model. And it is very interesting to see that the likes of Microsoft and Dropbox have been using this model. Number 8 is the ecosystem, where you create your own ecosystem. It is a process that seeks to not lock you in for a period of time. A service is a dream for any and every entrepreneur. Examples: if you have a mobile phone from Apple or with Android, you probably are included in an ecosystem. I am utilizing Apple products. I could be on the iPad and iPhone and MacBook, and they all talk to each other. It's an ecosystem. Finally, you want to be able to look into the on-demand model, which is used by Uber, is used by Amazon Prime, the cloud services, the on-demand service. Here, the immediate access is sold, or a premium access to time is sold to you. The delivery, the product, or the services can be called up at certain points in time. A video on demand, a taxi arriving on demand, and many other services become examples of this. What is coming through and is very clear is that the industry and the world we're operating within has changed drastically. It has become necessary that each and every business person looks for ways in which they can disrupt their marketplace or face being disrupted. Being actively involved as you are right now in Exxaro, you may want to start looking for a disruptive business model that will enable you to be able to maximize your offering to the company, while at the same time ensuring you minimize the costs you incur to conduct and deliver your business. As we come to a close, I'd like for you to reflect on the fact that we have covered in this particular segment these key areas. We introduced business model thinking. We introduced the 9 building blocks of the business model canvas. The business model canvas itself was discussed with you. The business model design process was followed by a discussion on the value proposition canvas. 2 case studies of the business model canvas were also shared with you. We wrapped up the discussion by going through what Benjamin Tallinn shares with us of the disruptive business models that are trending in 2021. Let me pull this discussion to a close by quoting Ralph Waldo Emerson. He defines success in this manner. He says, to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. I want to believe that our contribution through this module helps you to be able to ensure one life breathes easier because you've lived. You will go through and review what your business is for and appreciate that society, customers, and your team are key stakeholders in ensuring that your business delivers value to all of them. But it is going to be also important that you take good care of yourself as an entrepreneur, as a person with a variety of roles you fulfill in society, at home, in your own household, in the community around you. I wish you great success. May 2021 be your best year yet. Go well, succeed in everything you do. God bless.